Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode on the Celtic Now and for podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford, and today we're joined on the panel by John Clifford and Robert Boyle. Robert, how you doing, mate?
Okay, Ryan, good yourself?
Not bad, mate. And yourself, John?
Good, how you doing, lads?
Obviously, we're saying we're all right, and really we're not. After today's disappointing result against Livingston, nothing each draw at Celtic Park, another 2 points dropped. Obviously, John, it's not really a good time to talk about Celtic, but your first thoughts after the game?
It was everything I expected it to be honest with you. I did say I didn't think Celtic would win. They wouldn't score a goal because there's nothing up top. Just as expected. What's your thoughts, Robert?
Aye, John. I thought the team was wrong for the start. I thought it was quite... Not that you can pick for many players. I just thought the boy Walsh didn't deserve to be dropped at the centre half. I thought he played no bad the other night. I found it very strange about Beaton back in for Welsh. I found it very strange they brought boy Scott Robertson back for his loan spell because he was doing well down in England. They bring him back thinking, right, he's going to play, but we're no bad in the midfield area. They don't play the guy, he's sitting on a bench, which then his development's then getting held back because we broke back his loan spell. Very, very strange decisions from the club as we're now expecting on day-to-day basis. I thought, slow, very easy to play against, no strikers, nobody to hold the ball up. Just what we spoke about the other night, John, exact same as what we thought was going to happen happened. Thought Livingston were the better team.
Aye, Livingston will be raging. Livingston dropped 2 points today as far as I'm concerned. They'll be getting back up the road disappointed.
I agree with you, John. There's nothing, don't know what else to say. We predicted it and we've seen it for the other night that we're not a great team squad wise. We just don't seem to... We're dead easy to play against as far as I can see. I know it's a disappointed squad, but there's international players out there today we've paid a lot of money for. We should still be able to turn their Livingston in my own eyes.
Absolutely, aye.
I think it's very frustrating that we all think as well that we've got this massive squad and maybe we've no, as you say, Robert, maybe we've actually no got the squad we think we have. But for me, it's just, as you say, you've got international players. You've got Ireland's captain playing at centre back. Me and John spoke about it earlier that we've actually been really surprised how bad he's failed. Because down south, again, I don't want to pick on professional football players because in the day they're professional and that's their job. So who am I to kind of basically get fucked into them a bit? But it's very hard not to get angry and not to criticise guys when, as you say, international players making mistakes that they shouldn't be mistaking, not going for challenges when they should be going for challenges. He's a big guy and he should be doing what he should be doing, making himself authoritative, get elbows up, go through people, and it's just silly mistakes. Beaton as well for me again. Normally I thought when see the games where Scotland played Israel and we all thought that Beaton played well on, which he did. And he's just come back to us after that. And I know he's not a centre back, but he's an experienced internationalist and he's making silly mistakes. And the boy Alston come in the day again, as you say, Robert, the wrong team. I think I know we're a bit depleted. You need to have one or two guys who maybe shouldn't be playing. But the boy Alston at the back for me shouldn't be anywhere near Celtic's first team. He played with St Johnstone on loan and he get sent back. He was that poor. So I don't know where to go for him when it comes to the team selection.
I agree with you, Ryan, on Ralston. I watched him. He was on loan at Dundee United a few seasons back, and I think when he came on for Celtic, he didn't really have to defend so much. Like they played him against teams like Hamilton at Celtic Park, and we had all the joy. So he's no bad going forward. He puts in a decent cross and he gets forward. But I watched him at Dundee United, and they were coming up to the Championship and they're in the playoffs, and they get totally shreds. And I just went, he's never going to make it Celtic. And that's not the guy's fault, you know what I mean? He's obviously trying his best, but he's no Celtic quality. And I'm surprised after that many years. I think that was about 2.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That he's still at Celtic to this day. I found it very, very baffling because I think we've let go a lot more better talent than him in previous years. Not going to mention any names or anything like that because he could probably got a list. I just found it baffling he was in the team today, but we're not here to make the decisions when that matter. I thought Laxalt, poor distribution again, passing range terrible. Shane Duffy, I read a stat that somebody put on that he had 43% pass rate today. I mean, you would think we got him on loan to a junior team, not a team in the Premier League. To me, these stats are just baffling. In my own opinion, the league's gone. Time to make a change now. Your 3 loan players, Laxalt, Duffy and Elanusi, send them back because it's costing us money that we're probably not going to be wasting at this time. It just needs, I don't know when it's, let's be honest, Neil Lennon can't survive much longer. I know you can't really blame him for this, but he's part of the problem. We've won 6 games in 20 games. Our worst stats since 93-94 season. That's 20 odd years. Well, just under 20 years. That we've worst record we've had in nearly 20 years. To me, that's just unforgivable. And you've got to start the rebuild now to tap to bottom because there's another young boy, Carmen Harper, leaving us in a pre-contact. Every youth player doesn't want to be at Celtic. To me, there's something wrong to tap to bottom. Why is young boys not want to stay and play for Celtic? I don't know what you think on that.
Regarding Duffy and Beaton, the two of them are absolute shambles today. As Ryan says, every time you come on here, all you're doing is criticising. You'd like to have a bit of joy coming on it, but it's totally depressing. Beaton and Duffy's performance was absolutely disgraceful today. Duffy, every header he goes for, every tackle, he just makes mistake after mistake. Beaton's distribution was absolutely disgraceful as well. For an international football player, I don't know how many caps he's got, the same as Duffy. They're very experienced, played at a very good level. And we've got a lot of international players in our squad and they're getting dragged down. They're all dragging each other down. And I feel sorry for young players in this situation at the moment. The chances are young players might get more of a chance towards the end of the season now. If maybe loans get cut short or whatever, or just start cutting players that's maybe coming out of contract and just saying, nah, we're no extending your deal. I think Ralston's is up in the summer. I can't see him getting another contract, to be honest. I think that might, well, we've all spoke, we'd like to see more young players in the team and in the squad pushing, but they need to be better than what they are, than what I've seen so far. But maybe that's because of the situation we're in at the moment, how poor our form is, that they're getting dragged down as well.
It's just trying to take it all in here. You're talking. It's very hard to. You're not wanting to come on in general and criticise all the time because in the day they're professional football players. That's their job. But it's very hard not to. Especially when we get internationalists, as you said, John, with Duffy and Beaton, making silly mistakes. And let's be honest, right? It's not. I know we're not doing very well ourselves, right? But it's no disrespect to Livingston. I know you've made the fine right to win any game of football, any walk of life, but Duffy and Beaton shouldn't be struggling against a guy playing with Livingston. They're playing against better. So I know Livingston work as a team. They work very hard as a team. They're very fit. You can see they're a unit. But they guys shouldn't be struggling against guys in this league. It's just, there's something no right in my opinion, as you say, up for tap to voting for the youths. But I kind of like just stick on they three were mentioned in it, and Laxalt. The defence for me is just, it's the backbone and the goalkeeping situation for the full team. We've not had a settled keeper and a settled back four, and then I think it's just like a big roller down the team, because it's just, I don't know where to start, boys. It's very hard to it's just hard to go through what we're going through now. I agree with you, Robert, when it comes to the loan players. Just bin them, especially at the current situation where we're furloughing a under 18s team, got to Dubai, and then we're paying guys like Shane Duffy 25 grand a week. If it means we ain't going to sign a free transfer at the end of the season, as much as I don't want us to sign Declan Gallagher, see if it means getting him into the end of the season and getting Duffy away, then if it saves 10 grand a week, then we need to do it. I think we need to start looking at situations now where maybe money is coming into it. But for me, Neil Lennon, I think I seen something the other day. No, sorry, it was after the game. Sorry, somebody put a tweet up saying that it was it the Aberdeen game, I think, before the Aberdeen game, the Scottish Cup. He says, if it got to this stage where it was me, I had to go, I was walking away with my horns up. Well, I think now that's the time to, I think Neil, the time is gone now, and I think it's time to walk now, and so we can rebuild, because as you say, for me, Robert, the league's done now. We need to rebuild and start afresh with tap to vote.
I agree with you, Ryan, but I still don't think he'll do it. I still think he will be in the dugout on Wednesday, and I don't think we'll beat them on their plastic pitch on Wednesday. Whether it be a draw, whether it be a defeat, I think he's waiting to Celtic sack him to get money out of Celtic, because other than that, he's got blind eyes, you know what I mean? You can't see it, because he's telling you different things for everybody else is watching. I don't know if he's arrogant or just selfish. I don't know what it is with him, but he's went down a lot of Celtic supporters' estimations, how he's hung on and done what he's done, because he wanted time, and the board turned around and says, we'll review it in the new year. So there's a new year. We've played 3 games and we've got 1 point out of 9. So I would say they said that was getting reviewed on a week-to-week basis. That's 3 weeks gone now, and we've got 1 point, and the league's totally gone. It was hanging on by a thread on the 2nd of January before the game started. Now it's totally gone. It's why no do it? Make the changes now. That's the only way we're going to put it this way. It's the only way they're going to get their season book sales, because the amount of fans I know who's had books for so many years on the verge of getting their season books up, because they're just disgusted with what they've witnessed and what they've had to put up with.
I don't know what you make of that, John, but I think I agree with everything Robert says there.
Aye, Celtic's a business now, they're not a football club, and it's all about money. Most of your money comes in with season books and European money. If a season book, basically they know that they're getting 50,000 season books every year. I think that time's come to an end where they're not going to get that. They're supposed to have a waiting list as well, one day, or 5 or 10,000.
No.
Can't see that happening either, especially people losing their jobs, furloughed, whatever. Finances aren't going to be there for people. A lot of people, football comes first to them. I think that's going to be changing shortly, the way things are in the world.
It's just I think it's a situation where we've kind of seen it happening, but we've maybe tried to deny it in a way. Because obviously the last season we won the league, and then the start of the season it's derailed, and now it's just totally, it's gone a nasty way, I think. As you say, Robert, when it comes to the fans, as fans, you don't want to be nasty towards any player, any manager, any whatever, but it's getting to the stage where if the board don't call it a day, or don't even at least call the manager's job a day, it's just going to get worse, and fans will get a bit more abusive. And that's just natural in life. It's because you're angry and you can't go to the game to vent your frustrations. So things like this, podcast, Facebook, tweets, everything's going to get worse, and players have it will affect the full club even more. They've got to just call it a day. If it is a manager, if it's a board, it's just got to change. And as you say, if it's going to be maybe wait 6 months till a new match comes in, give them 6 months to get used to the club. If we do lose the league with 30 points, then we do. But at least we know we've got a fresh start coming up next season.
Aye, Ryan. I would, even if you're getting offers in for players that's going to leave in the summer, I would take it. Mm-hmm. I would try and get the money in the new. If we need to sell, just say for instance Ryan Christie, because there was talk in Easton for him, and they go, there's 10 million. Ryan Christie wants to leave. Take the 10 million. See half of the 10 million. Spend it on a manager and get rid of Neil Lennon. If that needs to be, reinvest the money into the club. Don't reinvest into CEOs and make sure they're all minted and they've made their money out of Celtic. Let's reinvest the money back into the club rather than taking money out of the club all the time and not reinvesting and selling big players for big money and then try to buy players totally average and try to turn them into the player that you've just sold. It's all wrong. It needs all step back in every sense that way. It needs new direction, needs new ideas, fresh ideas. We talked to bottom, as we've already spoke about. The day Livingston, to me, didn't have a recognised striker today. They had wee guy Scott Robinson up front. I can never remember him being a striker. I always remember him being a number 10 or
aye.
just out in the wing or whatever. To me, he played the role really well. And a guy who's not really a striker troubled their backline today, which was very worrying. He's a wee tiny guy. How can they not bully him today? How can they not get in this and win the ball? To me, he held the ball up well and done everything that he needed to do. And at the other end, we had Tom Rogic try to do the same. And I know a lot of people praise Tom Rogic when he came back into the team. But Tom Rogic, in my own opinion, I don't think Tom Rogic is good enough for Celtic. He's got great feet work, but I'm quicker at 10 yards in cement boots than he is. I don't rate the guy now. He's great foot work and all that. He's lovely touching on it, but to me, he's not good enough for Celtic. He doesn't do it on a every game basis. He scored good goals and important goals for us, but now I would sell the guy. He's just not what I think we need. Tumbo's better than him. Christie's better than him. That's the role he plays. In the other day, it's hard to say, but he doesn't hold the ball up, doesn't do it. He's no pace. I just think guys like him have been at Celtic too long and go at too easy a ride, the same as Neil Beaton. And I think that's what we need, a fresh look at, to strip that back and get new ideas and new players in, because there's a lot of players been at Celtic for a long time now. Even Scott Brown comes into that category now. He's finished, and they're talking about what he gave him another year's deal and all that. People are saying, oh, he deserves another year's deal. To me, this is where you need a guy in who's no got loyalty to these players, what Neil Lennon's probably got, and it needs to carry, because there's a lot of money going out of Celtic on average players. And you see it, the squad's not good enough. It's certainly not good enough and not fit enough. So I just feel a full new direction. And if we need to sell a couple of big hitters to get the money in, do it now and strip the club back there and get the guy in charge, because the season book sales will be coming up soon. We'll be begging letters coming out soon, and I don't see the fans being on side what they're witnessing now.
See regarding Lowell, the CEO, I heard a figure the day that he attained 3.4 million for Celtic last year. Is that correct? Aye, about that.
Correct, John,
Probably.
That is a phenomenal amount of money for a team that can't even qualify for the fucking Europa League to pay a CEO. That's mind-boggling, the amount of money he's taking. Understand there'll be bonuses with that, with winning trophies and whatever, but at Celtic you're expected to win trophies. There's a quote for Roy Keane at Man United: we don't get fucking win bonuses, we're Man United, we're expected to fucking win. It should be the same at Celtic. You shouldn't get a win bonus playing with Celtic and Rangers and whoever.
Aye.
John, he's the second highest paid CEO in Britain, behind Ed Woodward at Man United. He's took £15 million in bonuses out of Celtic alone, just in bonuses.
Aye.
It's frightening.
And also, see regarding the team, Duffy and Beaton, as soon as you've got another two centre backs, they can't play. You should only be playing if you deserve to play and you've earned the right to play. They were absolutely honking today. See a centre half, they would love long shies all day and balls punted into their blokes. That's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do, defend. That's food and drink for them. Maybe it's harder having a wee guy Robinson, a wee tricky guy, balls played into your feet. It wasn't like that. Livingston played the balls into the blokes, getting out wide, getting shies, putting Celtic under pressure. Every time a shy came in that box, you're like, oh, watching the game through your fingers, dreading it. Every time a team goes into the final third, they look like scoring. Yet again, we're conceding fouls in the wrong areas. in the final third, silly tackles, putting themselves under pressure. You can't see it changing.
That comes from the management, John.
Aye.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say. See, it's happened most of the game now, right? So if they're working on that at training, then they obviously can't be working on it hard enough or low enough, or maybe the coaching, the style is finished. It's gone. The players won't believe in it anymore. Because for me, that's the way it looks. See if we've all played football, right? See if you practice something at training, and most of the time it does happen. If you practice a free kick, you practice a corner. If you do it time again, it's going to happen. So I think John, you probably remember, was it George Graham at Arsenal? He spent hours a day on shape and defensive work, and that team were unbelievable. And for me, that just shows you, I think football is maybe, we're not there to see how long they train for, right? But I don't think they'll be training for 4 or 5 hours a day, working their balls off every day. I can't see that now. I think football's totally changed. I think sports science has took care of it. Or they can't train for this amount of time and this amount of time. For me, that's bullshit. I think they've got to train for as long as they can. See, like if they beat whoever it is on the Saturday, see in the Sunday, she went right away, working on what they're doing there, this rest and recovery. You've got 2 or 3 days in a week to rest and recover. Do you know what I mean? It's very, for me, there's got to be something. There's something definite behind the scenes that's not right. I think we all know that. Because it's when Lennon's come in, for me, it's criminal what's happened. I'm not saying Tennant's got to be a certainty, but Neil Lennon's come in. He's inherited a very, very, very talented squad of players. The defence has always been a bit iffy. We can take that, but when you're winning trophies, it kind of doesn't really take the high stall it should. But he's come in, he's been backed. People can't say he's only backed. He spent 15 million on 4 or 5 players there. And as you say, well, what his legacy is, just every game now is just getting away. It's getting further away from what he's achieved at Celtic. He's come in, he's got this squad that Rodgers left, and for me, the squad's regressed. If you guys like McGregor, who is fantastic, and McGregor for me, he was decent today, but he's regressing in my opinion. Guys like Big Julian come in the first year, was decent. This season, I know he's injured, but he's just fallen like a sack of totties. He's a big 6'6" guy. Just not interested for me anymore. You've got Edward, who's an absolute top talent, and I think when he leaves us, he'll for me he'll be like Tierney. He'll just go from strength to strength, and I think he's regressed. Griffiths, it's just there's so many problems, and it's just, I think, as I say, we've been waiting for it to come, and now it's just boom, and it's just all hit us like a big sack of totties.
I couldn't agree more, Ryan. It's just, for the tap to the bottom, as we said, it's just, I think just too much arrogance about Celtic. They just thought they were just going to turn up and just do what they had today, and they were just going to win titles, and it did work that way. But the only reason I think Lennon was successful in his first year was, like, it was still Rodgers' kind of team. A lot of the guys still had all that training and stuff, but Lennon started tweaking it all himself bit by bit, and as he started tweaking it, we started getting poorer and poorer. And that's just my opinion on it. It might not be what other people think. And you've got all these Lennon lovers that fucking probably shagged their wife, and there was he's still a cracking cunt, you know what I mean? Sorry for the words, but just some people absolutely love him. And he did put up for a lot for Celtic and done a lot of good stuff for Celtic, but the guy's been made an absolute millionaire out of Celtic for everything he's done. So let's not forget that. He never done it off his own back. So I just feel there's change needed to tap the bottom. There's just a wee thing I floated there. We're bringing Scott Robertson back for a loan spell down in England, playing really well.
I was going to talk about that now, actually, aye.
But they didn't play him today, so we know that. They've stopped the boy's progression now because they've brought him back for a loan spell. He's going to sit on a bench at Celtic. The big hitters are meant to be coming back this week. Ain't going to happen. Why did we not bring the wee boy Afalobi back for Dundee, who's a striker, who scored a couple of goals when we've not got a striker to play? Why not bring him back? That was another thing. It just didn't. It baffled me today. We're sitting there with a number 10 playing up front, who is no good at holding balls or no running the channels. It's not as if he's blessed with pace, but we've got a wee guy at Dundee in loan who's a striker, and we've got 4 guys out with COVID who's the strikers. Just, again, to me, that's just, they've not got a clue what they're doing.
Huge change, lads. It's this isn't going to be a short-term thing. I think this is going to take 2 or 3 years to put right. No, unless you get somebody the calibre of Rodgers, who I don't understand why people didn't like him for what he done. Whatever, he's moved on. He's moved on to better things. He maybe seen the big picture and knew that Celtic were going to regress. He didn't do well in Europe. He qualified for the Champions League, but taking a couple of fucking poundings right enough embarrassing, to be fair. But we need somebody like that to fucking invigorate the club again, invigorate the players. Because he totally changed, transformed some of the players that was there before. He made them into a fantastic team. What was you doing now for a Boyata and a Simonovic, centre half? Yeah, we might have previously slated A2. Well, he'd fucking take them back in a minute. Shevchenko as well.
I think, see, when it comes to the defence, I thought Shevchenko was decent. Maybe lacked a bit of pace, but I thought he was all right. In the day, the guy was a part of our invincible season, so you don't become a bad player overnight. I thought he was decent. Simonovic, I thought on his day was all right, but I think see some of the mistakes he make. I just think it's all pressure. I don't think it's bad players. I just think it's just the pressure's just totally, and it's just this season is just totally how the players. Like Shane Duffy, as we've spoken about, international caps, captain Ireland, played in the Premier League for years. The guy's not a bad player. You don't play for Brighton in Ireland all the time at the highest level if you're shit. Let's be honest, you don't in that league. When I was absolutely buzzing when the guy signed, I thought brilliant, no nonsense centre back. He'll take guys out for fun and he'll win headers and he'll sort it. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if is it because he's a Celtic fan and he knows how much it is, and he's or is it personal reasons? What, we don't know. But us fans, we won't know anything until somebody comes out and tells you something. Because we could be sitting slaughtering Duffy here, but behind closed doors, there's a lot of stuff going on. But see if that's the case, he shouldn't be playing. Take him out the fire line, like Livingston did before. There's a lot of things that, as you say, John, it's going to take months, maybe a year or two. They need to get somebody in, i.e. obviously Rodgers. Will he get that again? We don't know. But somebody like, I know I keep talking about, but Eddie Howe, young, fresh manager, fresh ideas, Premier League standards. That's the standards I think you've got to get to. There's obviously, we've spoken about the guy Ralph Rangnick, who was with, Leipzig or Salzburg, and he was, that's the way I think we need to go. But we need to go, if it means we need to go to a head coach and then a director instead of a CEO, then I think we need to do it. I think, because football for me is changing every day now. You've got VAR, you've got this, and then you've got CEOs. They're kind of going to window now. It's all head coaches and sporting directors, and I think I'm not saying go down that road, but it's maybe something we can look at and just try and get another, because the model's not working in there. It's worked in the past, but for me, it's not working now, and I think it's catching up with us now.
I agree, Ryan. I feel we need to go with a director of football, right? Just say, for instance, like a Gordon Strachan and a Martin O'Neill, somebody that knows the club inside out, a young upcoming manager who can then lean on them. But the director of football with them is they know the club. I'm not saying name, but personally, but just getting an idea. With a young Eddie Howe in charge. And then again, maybe John Kennedy, they don't want to get rid of him. Put John Kennedy back into under 21s alongside Steve McManus and Darren Adate, the under 18s, and just structure the club that way. But make sure the guys are there for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Don't do it 2 years down the line like Sean Maloney, get rid of him, or Stevie Frail, get rid of him. You know what I mean? Constant change. The constant changes at youth level doesn't work because the guys are obviously playing a system under certain managers. If a guy like Eddie Howe comes in, he could structure it all where he knows all the young coaches, and then he plays, right, this is your system, that's the way they've got to break through into the first team. And then the director of football can deal with other stuff. With Ajax, they've got like all ex-players, and the Van der Sar, I think he's like the director of football, isn't he?
Something like that, aye.
Similar with
The
Bayern
Boer
Munich, they did the same kind of thing.
The Boer brothers are behind the scenes doing stuff. I think it's like Overmars or something like that. They've got all different players and behind the scenes, and they'll not leave because they're all Ajax supporters or they're Ajax minded. So they're not going to just jump ship at the first opportunity. So we kind of need to structure the club on that sort of system, I would say, just to have success in a 4 or 5 year, no 1 or 2 year. I think that's the problem with us recently. It's always been 1 or 2 years.
See, if you recall, when Martin O'Neill came, the season before, Rangers absolutely skited the league by, I thought it was 18 points or something, roughly. The reason Martin O'Neill came was because the problem, big money. They must have offered him, dangled a big carrot in front of him. I think it's going. Rodgers got offered big money, taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Money talks in football. That's the way football is now. You'll get a decent quality manager if you pay them money.
Because I generally think we will sell. I think Edouard's probably going to go right. I heard there's maybe a cut price from maybe it was 25 or something. See if that's 25 and we say Ayers maybe 15, 20. I don't know. I'm just talking figures here, right? And then Christie might go for 10, as you says. Rogic might go for 2. So I don't know if they're waiting till the end of the season to see who they sell and then go, right, maybe we'll get a manager. Because see, like you see guys on Twitter writing saying, we've not got the money for a manager, we've not got this. We have got money for a manager because money is going to eventually come into the club because guys are running out of contracts, guys will get sold. So and let's be honest, we're supposedly the biggest, richest club in Scotland. We should have a spare few million for a manager. All the money we've earned through transfers, Dembele, Wanyamas, Tierney's, there must be a wee bit tucked away somewhere. There must be. If that's the way Celtic are supposedly a brilliant one club, there should be spare money tucked away for a manager. If there's no, then we'll need to get the money from somewhere, and that might be selling somebody. But I agree with you, John. I think money in football talks now. If you give somebody a decent wage, a decent contract with decent objectives, I think you'll get a decent manager. Because none of this, Roy Keane would come in and get an impact for probably 3 months and that, but him gone. I think it's too much hassle. It's always, as you say, John, it would just end in disaster.
Tears.
Roy Keane for me is a no-no. Maybe he's a coach or something, but knows your manager. Jack Ross, forget about Jack Ross. We shouldn't be going for a guy that's managing Hibs, in my opinion. Lennon took care of Hibs. Hibs regressed in a way down with him. Same with us. He took care of Hibs, got them up, back down again. Took care of us. He's kept us a wee bit, and then we're back down again. When it comes to that, though, I think director of football, if it is starting O'Neill, or somebody that out that knows the club, I think we need people in the club now that knows the club, and guys who know the football side, because Lowell and Desmond, Banky, they don't really have to deal with, as John says, the business side. They're the businessmen, they're the money men. But I think they'll get something to do with the team. I'm not saying they're picking the team, I just think there's too much influences, and I think maybe that's one reason why Rodgers did leave. Because some of these press conferences, you can hear him, he was frustrated, and I think now we realise the bigger picture. I think that Rodgers knew this was maybe coming, because he knew the money was not going to be there maybe for him. And it just shows you what a job he did there.
Aye, there's no doubt that's the problem. Rodgers seen that coming and seen too much influence for Peter Lawwell. It's been said for years that they've said that that's why he picked Ronnie Dyer because he could influence him. That's why he picked Neil Lennon because he could influence him. He turns around and tells you he gave Neil Lennon a job in the Showers. But you know why he gave him the job in the Showers? Because everybody else that wanted to go and manage Celtic when they have been his puppet, the way he wants it to be. He's got Lennon under control. He knows Lennon's not going to answer him. He knows Lennon had a second crack at managing Celtic he'll never get again. So he knows he can control him and tell him, oh, we've only got this budget and we've only got that, and he'll just stick to that. And that's it. That's the full reason I think Lennon got the job. It's a Peter Powell's Act, and then Peter Lawwell can control the full club. That way, I think the business side of things, Peter Lawwell's brilliant, getting deals with Adidas, getting deals with Magners, like the record-breaking deals every year, sponsorship deals, helping the SPL, helping the European side of it. But when it comes to football, that's when a director of football needs to come in and say, nah, if your Orwell's got to stay on, you can't deal with that side of it because this is what's happening. You've caused this atrocious stuff that's happening at the club because you've got too much input. You deal with the financial side. You deal with what we've got budget-wise. Let a director of football, let the manager deal with that side of things. I think that's a problem in football. Too many guys higher up that's not really got a clue about the playing side yet get too involved in it, and I think that's where it's came down to a head on that side of things. Just a wee thing back at the game of the day, I went on a stat thing. We had 52% possession, 5 goal attempts, 1 shot on target, and 2 corners. You think we were playing Real Madrid today, wouldn't you? The race stats.
Poor.
Very, very poor. Going to Livingston.
To have 1 shot on target it doesn't matter if you have no siders, that's still criminal. So you've still got Turnbull and McGregor that can hit a shot or two, so don't you make of that, John, but that is very poor. It's very poor viewing.
I don't know how to take stats because Rangers didn't have a shot on target against us and they beat us, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But the stats don't lie in that way. I was saying to Ryan during the game, was that many corners of Livingston had a fucking pinning us right in. We're panicking.
Had 8,
There's
John.
so much fear. 8.
Yeah.
There's so much fear in that team. Just total lack of confidence, isn't there?
Big time.
But
Scared to make. You shouldn't be scared to make a mistake as a professional football player. You will make mistakes. Don't be scared to make a mistake. Don't be scared to try things. Happens.
I just think the team.
Fans.
Aye, I just think the team is just totally flat. There's no. I think they're all under pressure, and I think that all stems from the tap to the bottom. That just stems from the club because. And then at half time, see that at half time when they showed you all the recent history, what the fuck was that all about?
That was embarrassing, by the way.
What is that all about? You have nothing each against Livingston. You've been hopeless all season. But let's put on at half time the Rodgers era and how successful we've been the last 3 or 4 years. Are you joking? The Celtic the PR has been a total joke this season. Come back to Dubai or buy your dairy milk. Lisbon Lion dairy milk. Come on, man. Well, look, we're interested in the football, no dairy milk.
See, one day, I was sitting watching that today, and John Collins was on with Willie McStay on Celtic TV. And John Collins talks a brilliant game, by the way. He's really interesting to listen to. I know he was there before, and he wasn't everybody's cup of tea. But see somebody like that, the experience he's got as a director of football as well. Somebody that ilk, because he's got a lot of contacts down south, abroad, France, whatever. Somebody that ilk, I think, would be ideally suited to the job. Because he's total sense of guy was talking today. He sounded a very good coach, which he obviously is, but he doesn't want to do the coach-manager kind of thing everywhere. Again, I think I've heard him speaking before. He wants to go down like the director of football route, and they're a wee name for you.
See,
Do you
on
agree
that,
with me on that then, John?
Sorry?
Do you agree with me on a director of football?
Aye. Just, there's no harm in trying it because the model they've got at the moment isn't working. We've won 12 trophies in a row, and we sound as if a bunch of greeting wains because we're no winning, but we could see the cracks a while ago, couldn't we?
it's just very. It's hard to take in. A lot of Rangers fans were saying, why use it all uptight because you've not won a few games. It's not that. It's what's coming. But as you say, John, when it comes to John Collins, I know a lot of people on Twitter and stuff aren't a fan of John Collins. It may not be his cup of tea, but I think when it comes to his contacts and what he knows the game, I agree with you. I think he talks very well. And obviously, you were talking about the kind of youth structure, Robert. Obviously, Willie McStay was at Celtic for years. And look at that youth system was brilliant. And again, he was there for years. So that again, that proves that works with the same coaching setup. The youth guys came through because I was O'Neill on it, Livingston and the Stratton guys like that, and some of the youth players that came out that you had Jamie Smith back then, you had all these guys. So it was successful. So why not stick to that route? Get a guy in and say, listen, if it is a 5-year contract, give him and say, listen, you've got 5 years, you've got a project, on you go, deal with it. None of us get involved with it. It's the same with a new manager. If you get a new manager, and if it is Eddie Howe, I'm just talking with Eddie Howe because that's the guy who I would like to have. If it is, hey, Eddie, look, he's going to come, there's a 4-year deal. This is what money you're just tell him what you're got, just tell him what it is, what you're going to give him, and you go, there you go, there's the keys to dugout, boom, and let him get on with it. And then if Lowell and Desmond, as you say, businessmen, they're fantastic, right? But if they're going to stay, which I know we've spoken about a guy that might leave, no names, but he might be leaving. If that's the case, then it's go to whoever comes in, they've got to go to say to the manager, listen, take the keys and bolt and deal with it, because there's too many voices, I think, and I think a lot of people for the outset are hearing all this, and it's no, that can't be good for the players on the park.
No, definitely, Ryan.
Ryan, did you send Eddie Howe a Christmas card, by the way?
No, but I try to send my wee message, but then you're back to. But Eddie, come on. But I'm just saying that as he's a guy I've kind of had for a few months. He's not got a job. People say he done this with Bournemouth. He explained what happened with Bournemouth. The players basically go to the stage where they were kind of getting sick of the training, they were getting sick of him. They just thought, I couldn't do anything else. I'd done what I'd done, and it wasn't working anymore, so I left. I had been doing, but he took them up all the leagues, and he's kept them in the Premier League. They finished, was it 10th or 9th? So obviously, yeah. I know he spent a bit of dough, right? Some silly dough in Sri Lanka and stuff, but again, we don't know if that's all him. We don't know ins and outs of football clubs. But I think a guy like, for me, it's got to be a top manager. None of this cheap shit, because if you get a cheap manager in, you're probably going to get cheap quality. So I don't know where to go for here, but I agree with the director of football route. And if as a head coach, then so be it.
Right. Aye, Ryan, that's who I've pinned my hopes on, is a guy like Eddie Howe. But, you know, knowing Celtic, they'll hit us with fucking a guy like fucking the Hibs manager or something, wouldn't they? That's the sight of him all day. But I think the board need to make a statement, and they need to make it soon, because the fans and the board have never been so far apart in terms of communication and how they feel about each other. Just obviously with all the fences and stuff up going about Celtic Park, and fans doing protesting, and just everything that's happened this season has just been a pure disaster. And I think it's the arrogance again for the club. They just expected to turn up and just fling money at things and it would work, but they didn't do their homework, in my opinion. The scouting system, the management, trips to Dubai, the fitness of the players. I mean, it's just falling goalie going away to Spain, Griffiths coming back overweight. It's just, to me, it's just all a team of individuals at the club. It's no a structured all in it together, and that's what this is now come into. It's just an absolute disaster. And it was like a water pipe just leaking, and it was going to burst at some point, but they were just blinded by it. It's only a wee leak, and then it just explodes. The water comes fucking pissing down, and that's what's now happened. It was always going to happen. Paper near cracks, as people use as a phrase. Everybody's seen it coming for the last 18 months. Cluj, Copenhagen, Feroz, Sparta Prague. But the board's stupidity has led to this, and this is a disaster in the state we're in.
See, regarding the state we're in at the moment with results and performances, see if Rangers are doing really well now. See if Rangers weren't doing as well, and they were maybe struggling a wee bit, I think we'd still be wanting change, because it's totally unacceptable. I don't care if they're away ahead of us 20 points, or if they're only 5 or 6 points ahead of us, it doesn't matter. Your standards have dropped dramatically, and you need to try and get back up again.
Well, they keep doing it, John, that we're a Champions League elite club. That's what Brendan Peter Lawwell keeps banging the drum about. Well, you need a Premier League manager, a Champions League manager to take us to that.
Aye, it's he keeps banging on about this for this great club or this. Well, you can't find 15 million. I know that's a lot of money on guys who you've not really looked at and think, right, you're going to get us into this and get us into the group stages. It's the scouting system for me. I heard we kind of rumours that Nicky Hammond might be getting his jotters. For me, it's every right, because I could tell the last player, the last 18 months or the last year he's been here, that it's been successful. Because Foster wasn't scouted. We all knew about Foster. And then Ferencvaros's game, he signed a Yeti. Again, it's pure negligence for the board. He's no fit, no kicked the ball in how long, and then he waits 2 weeks, then he signs, and then it takes him to fucking, what is it, like October or something to start again. Come on, man, it's going to get better. I don't know what you think of that, John, but the scouting systems, as Robert said, it's failed.
See, during the week, Bayern Munich sacked their manager because they get beat off a lower league team in a cup. Bayern Munich's top of the league, and they've sacked their manager because it's totally unacceptable to get beat off a lower league team. Can we not get back up to having a standard like that?
Of course. Borussia Dortmund done the same, John, didn't they?
Aye.
There's PSG done the same with Tuchel. Tuchel won the treble the season before and they sacked him because he get beat in the Champions League final.
Aye.
This is what big clubs do, John. The right decisions, they think, no, we can do better than that. That's what Celtic need to be, because they want to be an elite club and make the Champions League. Well, under Neil Lennon, you didn't even do it in the Europa League. We were lucky to get there. Let's be honest. We scraped by 2 pub teams to get into the Europa League.
Twice in 9 years they've got into the Champions League.
Aye, to me that's a failure right away. That's telling me, was it no Rodgers?
You're not a Champions League team then, are you?
No, you're not. Let's be honest, we're a Europa League team now. That's what we are. Aye. That's what our standards are. And the 2 years, was it no Rodgers that got us there twice?
Aye.
The Champions League.
Aye.
So, was that not tell you everything?
I think if I recall, in the 6 games in the 2 group stages, I think we won 1 game out of 12 maybe.
Right, we know that's worth punching way above our weight. We actually know that, but we need to get in that for financial reasons, to keep attracting players and keep having the money.
Of course.
We know we get in there, we're going to take an absolute tanking, because that's just the difference in money and the elite teams and us now is just astronomical. It's like the money is just getting bigger and bigger every season. But we still need to be there. If we get embarrassed, we get embarrassed. But you're getting 35 million at it. So I'll take getting embarrassed half a couple of teams and maybe getting the odd couple of doors. If that helps us progress for the next 5-6 years, then that so be it. But I would happily do it, just to get the money, for the money side of things. But if you've got a decent manager, John, who sets up a structure, you can be hard to beat.
Of course you can.
And
look at, for example, years ago, Rosenberg were a very difficult team to beat in the Champions League as well. Pine buttons to their players, just well structured, organised, disciplined.
Yep.
Can be done.
Can be done. We lost out in the young boy, I know. I just seen on Sky Sports News tonight, the young winger for QPR that said that we might be interested in getting on a free contact. A free contact. The wee right winger now got to Fenerbahce or some Turkish team. They've signed him. The boy Alfie Donaghy, you were talking about, Ryan, a few times. For Charlton, was talking about Stoke taking him now. What's happening with us? We can't even go and identify players and sign them now. We're just getting other teams taking them off us.
Where are Stoke in the Championship? Down near the bottom?
No, I think they were mid-table, up there, John.
Mid-table, whatever.
Aye.
Are they?
The last I
Teams
seen, they
like
were
that
paying.
shouldn't be taking players off you.
No, I know. But I mean, there's the thing is, Lennon might have turned and said he wants this guy, that guy, and that guy, and Celtic Road might have turned and went, well, you're not going to be there in the summer. So how can you sign players in it? Do you know what I mean? It's
See, that's the thing. It's high main way as well. We've not really been linked to anybody yet, and it's the 16th of January. We've not been rumoured to sign anybody, and then I just don't know what the planning is behind the scenes, because say we have won the last games and we're only, just say we beat Rangers and maybe it's only 10 points or something, whatever it is, right? Would that have changed their minds about signing players? I don't think so. I don't think they've got a plan. Morwell says they've got a plan A and B and C for Lennon or no Lennon. Well, if that's the case, come out and show it now. Because today, again, the squad, you've guys like Frimpong, for me, people aren't going to convince me that he's good enough for Celtic. They know I can't see it. I know he's a young guy and he's trying to apply his trade and he's trying to get better with Celtic, but I don't know. I just can't see him playing every week for me. For me, that's just my own opinion. Guys might say, he's very quick, but when he gets to that byline and evokes, it freezes, and it's like, oh, I hadn't hope. At that level, you can't do that. I know Mikey Johnson's been injured. I've spoken about him. He's a young guy again. He's computer use system, brilliant. But for me, I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to play every week. For me, he's not going to be a James Forrest. It's just my opinion. Rogic, again, I love the guy to bits, Robert. As you say, he's fast feet and he scores some amazing goals for us. But again, I think his time's come to an end. I kind of felt for Tumbo, Sorum, McGregor today. Probably the only three guys I would say that get pass marks in a way. Three brilliant.
They were all right.
They're three very, very good football players, and again, I think they were let down with the rest of the squad today. It was the same during the week where I thought Tumbo was let down for the squad during the week. I thought he was brilliant. Again, it's took us to fucking January, December to play Sorrow and Tumbo. It's hard to agree with Dave King, but Dave King says when Celtic get beat once, fought a pack of cards, and he's fucking right. We felt a pack of cards. There's no much we can order. We can defend Celtic all we want, but we can't defend what's been happening now.
We've imploded, haven't we?
Aye.
And is this we said during the week, no, but it's only going to get worse. It gets better. And the next fixture's a very difficult game away to Livingston on that horrible park. I know you should only concentrate on one game at a time, but who's the game after that?
I couldn't tell you. I think we're all that. No
Exactly. But see, the day's game's going to be the same as Wednesday. Livingston pressure near every time, forcing you into mistakes. Livingston are trying to play in Celtic's fub, we're getting long shies and you're under pressure. It's going to be so difficult again, and I can't see us winning again. We'll either draw or get beat again, I think. Is what I thought today. I can't see scoring a goal.
Hamilton at home, I think it is.
Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know something? It doesn't matter who you played and who, does it? I don't think it really matters.
But you see, even there was guys, sorry Robert, but there was guys there saying about your big hitters are now back. Aye, but they've been isolated for 10 days and they'll be, that's the match fitness went for the today.
See, your big hitters, they've been honking as well.
Oh.
It's like the run of games we've had at home recently, we've probably had easiest the fixtures we could have had, and we've not even took points at them. To me, that's worrying because we've not been playing away from home. So, what's going to happen when we're playing away from home? Because you're going to have to go on these plastic pitches like Livingston on Wednesday, Hamilton away on a plastic pitch, Motherwell probably in a cut-up park, and we've not done it at home at Celtic Park in a big, massive open park. So, as your dad said and was said, I don't see anything going to get better. Maybe draw or get beat on Wednesday, then maybe beat Hamilton at home, and then I don't know who's after that. It's just going to be a very hard watch to now to the end of the season.
I tell you what, nobody fears Celtic at the moment. Absolutely no one.
Why should they?
Yeah.
Teams used to come to Park Eden absolutely. I know we keep going back to the Dodgers era, but that's the era where we were feared. Even going away someplace in Europe, teams like Celtic, Rogers. Now I just don't think, but even teams like Livingston, again, it's no disrespect because they've got a very good unit, a very good hard-working team, but we should be beating any team in Scotland at Celtic Park. We should be. I know you've no divine right to win football games, but with the money we've got, the money we've spent, the players, international players we've got, we should be winning games at Parkhead against Livingston. Everything's just there's not really much to talk about in the game because the game was just a damn squib on it. It was just Ralston had two good balls in the box. Oko Fletcher scored. But again, I kind of want to get back to your talking about the Roy Robertson, Robert, and the guy for Dundee, Alafabi. Robertson's playing with young. Most weeks he was maybe as a sub, but it was Cannon and he was starting. We've just talked his development again, as you say. Why bring him back when you know everything on the play? It's stupid. They strikers, and you've got a guy Dundee in the bench. It's just the full thing's just, as you say, there's no structure, there's no ideas, there's no plan A, there's no plan B. It's just a total shit show. And you're trying not to swear, you're trying not to criticise too much, but it's very, very hard not to.
Aye, we're really holding our frustration as well as we can here, aren't we? It's boiling in everybody, obviously just because of the way we've been, but there's a thing, right? I've thought about it. These guys that are in self-isolation, the guys that come back, Edward, Julian and Christie, Aya and Christie, three guys we're talking about who maybe want to leave. The season's over. What were they want to play for? Why were they want to try the hardest? What if they get injured on a plastic pitch on Wednesday night? They're not going to run about like headless chickens and get tore into people. And the other thing is, with the pandemic going on, I think we'll finish the league, but I don't think we'll finish the Scottish Cup. So, what has the players really got to play for now? Is it just best changing everything now and maybe selling a couple of players and getting the money in place for the new manager, or getting the scouting system in place, getting rid of Nick Hammond and getting all that structured the new? Because to me, the rest of the season is just going to be mere agony at the end of the season. And I don't think the Scottish Cup will finish because of this pandemic and the cases keep rising, but I think they'll try the hardest to finish the season, or they'll call it. That's simply it. But where will these guys have the motivation now to go and play and finish? Because the season's finished. As fans can see, the man is, why Lennon's wanted to just hold his hands up, say like, tried my best, that's me, time for a change. It's baffling. It's just total arrogance. And I don't see these players coming out and playing 100% and trying their best at the end of the season. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but if these guys want their dream move or bigger money, why are they going to go out and try the hardest at the end of the season?
They've only put probably in one performance all season of any note. That I know they had a couple of wee good efforts in Europe against Lille, wasn't it? Home and away. But for an hour against Rangers, I thought Celtic were outstanding. And it's sad to think that's the best you've played all season. The amount of games we've played, that's been the only kind of shining light. And we still didn't win, we still get beat.
I think it shows, and that's probably some guys who are thinking I know the best all season, but it shows that what they can still do. So it's not like they've got bad players overnight. Something's happened. Something's definitely been on, and for me, I think this is just my personal opinion. People might not agree with it, but as soon as Neil Lennon came out and said players wanted to go, for me that was him. That was him gone. And in the fans' view and players' view, I think that was him gone. I think he lost the dressing room. You can't come out and say players. That's stuff behind closed doors. You say in a meeting, or you say in a dressing room, or you say in a boardroom level. You don't say that in front of the fucking public media, man. That's criminal. That's just going to shoot players in the foot. Say, tap the boat, they're going to go, oh, fuck you then. I'm not playing for you then. That's just natural. It's just any player. That's just life. And players now these days they're a bit like snowflakes. As soon as you tell them something that's wrong, or I'm going to my agent, I want to move. You can't do that. You can't do it anymore. There's ways we talk to these players now. And that's what we spoke the other day to Gianni Robert, that football's changed now. So when he was playing football to football now, you've got to talk to the media a certain way, you've got to talk to the players a certain way. And I just think Lennon is like the old school situation where when you rang, I'll tell you fucking rang, and it's totally went. I think that for me, that's when me personally thought he's finished.
It's so easy to get. Players nowadays are so pampered and so they're kind of like fairies, isn't they? Let's be honest. They're no like an Alex Ferguson nowadays would look. I don't think he would the last 5 minutes in a dressing room just because that's old school way of doing things and everybody's different. I get that's just men were men back then, and nowadays they're no so much in football terms. And I think that's a lot to do with because a lot of the good old ways have been took out of football. But it's just the way modern football is, unfortunately. Probably your dad would tell you back in his era, that's in his football, that was a great way of doing it, and you got the best out of players. But nowadays they just don't take criticism well. They can't accept it. It's like, I'll go to my agent, I don't need to deal with this. I can get 40 grand a week somewhere else. It's like the wee guy Jesse Lingard at Man United. He's on about 100 grand a week, but he's barely kicked a ball. He's got a clothing range out on his own Instagram, and you see Roy Keane that going, this wee guy's more interested in his social media than his football. It's just sad. Football is sad, and the problem is there's too much money in football now, and people aren't humble and appreciative of what they've got and what they've earned out of football, because a lot of them are millionaires before they've even actually done it in football. That's the problem. But I think Lennon, that was an absolute boo-boo, and I think a lot of players never forgave him after that. Came out and personally slating him after that game, and I think if you lose the dressing room now, there's no way back, and the board should have seen that back then. I don't know what your thoughts on it, John.
See, you're talking about Lingard. Jesse Lingard were about being out of Man U years ago if Fergie was still a manager, because he would never accepted that. Under no circumstances would he have been bringing out fucking clothing ranges and all that. Fergie ran the coffee tap to bottom. You ruled with fear. If I didn't like you or you fucking done my badging or whatever, he'd bin you. No, unless you were Cantona or Keane, somebody would win games for him on their own. But regarding what Gianni was talking about the other day as well, I can relate to that more than you because I'm older, but boys, YTSs and boys doing jobs around about the stadium, painting, brushing, cleaning, washing boots. That was grounding, boys. Yeah. That wasn't like slave labour. That was to fucking make sure that they grew up properly and had standards and respect for people. Now it's that's where you're talking about Celtic developing players, and not just Celtic, most teams. Their days are gone. I don't even see maybe down south, even maybe the bottom two leagues. I don't know if they maybe still do things like that. I don't know. Because of small community clubs and whatever. But football's totally changed for the worse with things like that. Boys no doing jobs. Can't get our horns dirty, you know what I mean? They wouldn't be able to wire a plug or fuck all. They don't have any skills, life skills. That's what that gave people growing up, life skills and how to treat people. Now there's snowflakes of what does, isn't it?
Would you like to see it brought back into football on a smaller scale? I think so, John.
Aye, definitely. It will not happen though with health and safety and all that stuff like that. It will not happen again. Boys going up ladders and painting things and all that.
Just on a smaller scale, but I was thinking, John, like maybe washing a guy's boots or something in the first team. Just sit.
Aye,
maybe just cleaning the fucking stands.
cleaning the seats and whatever, anything like that, aye.
Yeah.
See, obviously, when you hear ex-pros talking about how that's what they've done, and they actually seen that as a reward. They're like, we were actually doing that to get into the first team dressing room. They were all, but like here's Simon Ferry and open goal talking about quite a lot. They were buzzing to clean Alan Thompson's boots and Hartson's, but they were buzzing. They loved that, and that's what they always talk about in open goal, how good their youth days were. That's all they speak about, so youth days, because they were treated like Tommy Burns treated them like men. He made them, as John says, life skills, treat people very well. You walk past the tea lady, so hiya, how you doing, how's your day? It's just life skills, and I think that's away now. I think guys just turn up and train for 2 3 years, get a wee bit of food, get a massage, get home, watch, go and play golf, sit on their phone. The top professionals like your Ronaldos, they obviously get home and they work hard. But again, I don't know if guys at our level do that. Because today it's not really shown on the park this season anyway, because we definitely need a change. Because we've not got somebody like a Fergie that is winning the club to tap the bottom. Ours is just all sort of the shot on it. To be fair, there's no other way you can say it. It's been a shit show for the first day of pre-season.
I heard a cracking story about Barcelona. See, like the most successful Barcelona team for like 2006 to 2011 or something, I think it was. And it was when Guardiola was in charge of them and that. But there was a thing at Barcelona was that the superstars never turned up in big, massive motors. Meant to be the Barcelona car park was just for I'm not saying this is a normal motor, but for a football player, it's a normal motor. Maybe like an Audi A3 and maybe a Seat and like a Ford and all that. Meant to be that Guardiola had installed this, like the players don't need the big fancy motors, and it grounded like their Messis and your all that at the time. Like, that was Guardiola's thing, that they shouldn't turn up to training in big fancy motors. They should only turn up in small cars and be humble about things. And that was meant to be a thing I'd read, that this was what Barcelona had, and they were probably the best team in the world at the time. To me, I think that just a bit of discipline like that probably helped them in a way. You know what I mean? Rather than having to turn up big fancy motors, swaggering out with sunglasses, with Gucci bags and all that one. Just have everybody the
fucking
same.
headphones.
Aye. Keeping everybody humble, John. I think probably that's what a lot of clubs probably are lacking now. The humble side of things, and they've got everything too easy.
I definitely agree with that.
I think football's it's changed for every level, and then now you've got VR coming in, and it's totally written. For me, it's written the heart out of football, and I think referees are actually scared to come out and talk about the VAR, because I think that's totally written the heart of them as well. But I agree with you when it comes to the standards have slipped. I think at every level in Celtic, the youth, the under 23s, and the first team, it's just very hard to not be critical about it all. And obviously, we've got Livingston and Hamilton. I've got a wee text message here, but I'll keep back to myself. I don't know what it's about, but something about what's been happening.
Well, tell us.
Well, I just got a WhatsApp there, right? So I don't know if it's the truth. So don't. Supposedly, who's Ross Desmond? Is that Lowell's hangman?
Ross Desmond.
Supposedly he's getting appointed with immediate effect. Lowell stepping down into the season. Neil Lennon's final game will be Wednesday night. John Kennedy will move to operations. Gavin Stratton under 23s. Eddie Howe will come in first thing on Thursday morning. With backroom staff to assess the game against Hamilton on Wednesday night. So that's just a wee WhatsApp for Twitter. So don't know if it's true. But
I've heard all these rumours.
Did Eddie send you that, right?
Who?
Did Eddie send you that himself?
Aye. That's him getting back my Christmas card.
I think you should go on Eddie Howe's fucking coaching staff, Ryan, myself.
And he's got anyway, so Eddie, I'm free.
I have heard all these rumours. I've had text messages off a lot of people. I just think that's something like that is what we need. I think that's the only way the fans are going to bite into it. But time will tell when things of that stature.
And obviously yourself, John, going forward, that's a few weeks. What's your kind of thoughts on the last wee bit about Celtic, mate?
Just try and win games. Give the fans a bit of hope. I just don't know where the goals are going to come from, because you're missing your 4 strikers. But Eddie been all right for a couple of games there. Griff was all right. I just think we're going to struggle to score goals.
I think we've struggled to score goals all season, haven't we? We've struggled to score goals and we've struggled to defend goals.
It's probably the least amount of goals that I can ever recall a Celtic team scoring, apart from maybe the fucking Liam Brady or Lou Macari era. I'm not too sure, but Celtic used to score nearly 3 goals a game on average throughout a season. I don't think they're anywhere near that.
No, it's very, very poor.
No, when you can't keep the back door shut.
Aye, well, it's good teams are built on keeping the back door shut and scoring goals at our end. So
that's what you're talking about. George Graham earlier on, he would be described as an absolute fucking dinosaur now. He's a fucking hero. What he done to that team and the success he got them.
The boring Arsenal 1-0.
Aye. The fucking Tony Adams putting the horn up for offside, the oddie, and brilliant. They were the days, man. But
Ian Wright scoring the goals.
Aye. But these days you get guys like Beaton and Duffy and Ayer. The horns are just up all the time, and you're fucking look at the game. Offside, and then when they lose a goal, the first thing they do is ref offside. Football's finished and a lot of things in it when it comes to. I think, but I agree with back in the day when obviously the Arsenal days with George Graham. See if that happened now, players just want to do it. Players would be like, I'm not doing that.
That was hard work. At going success. I had the ability nor the talent, but they had to work for it. You need to work hard. You just don't turn up and win trophies. You've got to work hard to do it.
That's it. It's built on hard work.
Is that maybe missing a bit for Celtic now? They're talking about Lennon boys 2 days off here and there and whatever.
100%, John. You see it. Every game I've watched Celtic, after 60 minutes, they're blowing a gasket. They just look so unfit to me. That's why Celtic have made the most subs in the league. To me, that tells you they're one of the unfittest teams. Lennon practically uses 45 subs a game. He's used the most subs throughout the season. So, what does that tell you?
But he doesn't use them in the right way either. He just finds it on.
Just guys are blowing it their arse, Ryan.
And he just changed it. It's even, see all this, as we've spoken about before, it does my nothing when they bring out the iPads and the laptops and all the guys go to say is, listen, this is where you're marking. Surely that should be done before the game. If you go on, this is what you do, this is what you do. See, when I played, all you get told, go and score a goal, go and do just do your job. I don't know why you need to come on with a laptop, you go here. Again, that's because football's changing, but I don't agree with it. That's just, maybe I'm too used to just being on a part and playing.
Sometimes football's overcoached.
Info. Aye, too much information, Robert.
Aye. Rather than just letting players play to their strengths and do what they do on a park. They say that about young boys in Scotland, they overcoach them. Like, say if Lionel Messi was playing in Scotland, that he would have been coached to him to dribble by players.
Yeah.
Just the modern coaching, dinosaur coaches in Scotland, as I say.
That's what I said earlier on. Don't be scared to try things. Don't be scared to try and beat a man. If it doesn't work, don't worry about it. Just keep trying. Right.
Right, lads, I think we'll call it a day. We've said a lot of things that get frustrations out, but I think we've spoke about whatever our fans thinking, and maybe in other terms. But again, hopefully change happens soon because it needs to change. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. But touch wood, I just hopefully get a result and Wednesday. It's going to be a hard game Wednesday against Livingston on that park. But we'll review the game as it comes. But thanks for your time, Robert, John, and I'll see you again. Thanks a lot.
Right.
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 That's us finished. The Celtic Now, our podcast. Thanks a lot, guys.
Right.